You know, Mother's Day, the approaching holiday, is one of celebration and honor for the women who so greatly impact each of our lives. But it can also be a point of pain for women who have experienced loss in all forms, the loss of a child, the loss of a mother, or lack of children at all, for that matter. So today we offer words to all of the women and mothers out there with an aching heart. We want to be part of your support system. This Mother's Day, licensed clinical social worker Kristin Hodson is joining me with 4 ways to honor who you are on Mother's Day 2018. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Tender topic. I know you work with women of all walks of life,
Yes.
some who are in that role, the thick of motherhood, and some who long to be. Do you find this to be kind of a point of tenderness?
Absolutely, because traditionally it's a day of celebration, and for many, many women, it is a really painful time, and there can be a lot of invisible pain that's hard to name, that's hard to see,
Sure.
and so that's really hard.
Because I see a lot of women who are in that situation you described, trying to put on the brave face to celebrate and honor all of the women around them. This hit my heart in a real way a couple days ago. My sister was holding an event to honor mothers, and she said it just hit me. I was super attuned to the fact that the phrase mother was in this event title, and she's going through her Facebook page trying to send out invitations, realizing a lot of people in that list didn't fit that particular criteria. How do you approach, if that is you, how do you approach this day and stay strong and also honor and be authentic to what you're feeling?
Well, so I think the first thing to remember is there no two forms of grief are the same. So we get to share similar circumstances. Maybe we both experienced a miscarriage, but the way one woman is going to experience that, or the way one couple is going to experience that, can be entirely different. And so honoring and recognizing that the way that I experience it may not look like the way I see my friend experiencing it, or the way I see something on social media, or the 5 tips on what this looks like, but just to be like, this is my experience, and that's okay.
That can be comforting. Can that also be isolating in a way that no one understands what I'm feeling, what I'm going through?
It can, and I think at the floor, though, like what we're really seeing is maybe the circumstances are the same, but the floor of it is we both experienced loss. And I can see your loss, and you can see my loss, and we both have the aching heart.
I think a lot of women who maybe are in that position of experiencing loss or having that aching heart might not want to be talking about it this week, right? Is it a time to address it? Is it a time to speak out and own your feelings? Or is it a time to kind of just wait through, limp along, and know that the wave of celebration that comes with Mother's Day will pass in a few days?
I think it also depends timing. Like, you're gonna have timing when maybe you do need to just go away and limp along. And then you also may be at a stage where you're like, I can ask for some support. I can ask my partner to be my advocate and help those, like, to know this is how we need to be supported. This is how I need to be supported. Or to ask a friend or a family member or even a therapist. Because if you have fresh loss, you may just need to tend to your heart. You may not want anybody to talk to you, and that may feel supportive. And so it's important to be able to recognize not only just to have supports and advocates for you, but to recognize your timing of it.
And that, again, could be unique. Who your support system is, how you need that support, day to day, year to year, as it would be. But you say everyone has a support system within their reach that they can call on, hopefully.
What we have found, and I really did check in with my colleague, and I said, does everyone really have someone? Do you see that? And she's like, I can find usually one person for everybody.
There's someone.
There's someone.
That you can call on.
Yes.
You want to give women permission to create the day that's best for you, not the day that Hallmark says we should have on that card, or not the day that we're seeing splashed across commercials or across the media. It can be what you need it to be.
Yes. So what you can have is this prescriptive element where it's like, oh, so you've experienced loss. Here's what you need to do for that day. This is how you're going to, like, rename the child or visit the grave, or you're going to do something like that. For some women, it's getting out of town. For some, it's honoring the inherent mother within them. For others, it's, I saw one couple that they changed the day entirely and they made it best friend day. But what works for you on claiming that day may not work for somebody else. And so you just really have to claim what is yours. And that may change per season. Like, what you need for this year may change for the next year. Grief is just flexible and fluid and really can't be packaged up.
Any advice for communicating that day, or what you want that day to be to those around you? Because they have their own expectations and their own needs and their own ideals of what Mother's Day should look like. How do you communicate that?
Well, so what I would say, this is more to the people trying to support someone who's experienced loss. You talk to someone that maybe you know has experienced loss, and so you may say, oh, this is what I'm going to do for you. The best place you can start is not assume. Don't assume you know what they need or what this day looks like, but that's a vulnerable conversation to maybe say, I don't know what this day looks like. I want to be there for you. How can you feel best supported? What can I do for you? That's
like
the place
that.
I would say.
So you're asking questions from a humble, vulnerable place, a sincere offering of how can I be there. Don't assume.
Don't assume. Don't walk in to be like, this is what this day means for you. Let's just pick up and pull up our boots and get out there. That's maybe not going to work for them.
At the end of the day, I mean, I guess better safe than sorry. As they say, more sensitive, more tenderness than even necessary might be the best approach, not knowing how that individual person is grieving or where they're at on that path.
Yeah, because you also speak to that isolating piece. Sometimes we can stay away because we don't know what to do. And that can be just as painful, where if someone comes from that place of vulnerability of, I really am here for you, I want to do what's best for you, that place can be really receptive of, thank you for even seeing me and acknowledging my experience.
Right, that awareness is appreciated across the board. You were the person for this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brooke.
Helping us all be a little more aware and sensitive to other people's needs and places. Where can people get in touch with you if they need help connecting?
Yeah, they can go to thehealinggroup.com.
You offer great resources for women. So we'll post a link on our website to make it easy to click on over, thehealinggroup.com. Thanks again, Kristin.